Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the UN Week celebrations through our speakers sessions. And today we have got with us Mr. Ganesh Shankar, who's the CEO of Fluxgen Technologies, as a founder and CEO, and his company works on water sanitation UNSDG 6. So Ganesh, glad to have you. It's our privilege to have you here. Welcome to the Impact Consulting Bangalore celebration.
Thank you so much, Arjun. I'm really thrilled to be here. Thanks for the invitation. I'm very excited to be part of this event.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to have you as well, Ganesh. So, Ganesh, as I told you, is a co-founder, is a founder and CEO of Fluxgen Technologies, working in IoT-based water solutions, water management solutions. But Ganesh is much more than that. So, I would ask Ganesh to introduce himself.
So, if I talk about myself, I'll probably tell about my work,
Hmm.
right? And I come from the city of Bangalore. I grew up here. The city used to be called as the city of lakes and garden city, and it's a wonderful city. But I've seen the city has gone through one of the most unsustainable practices, and we are today in a state of not having enough water. Bangalore today is in #2 in terms of water stress.
Uh-huh.
It used to be city of lakes and garden. This perhaps is a concern as a countryman, but it's an opportunity as an engineer. So as I built my career in the city, I realized I should want to work on the problems on sustainability. Right,
Hmm.
I started out as my career in a startup in 2005. Later, did my master's at the Institute of Science, and later worked with General Electric. When I was in General Electric, working in aviation system and then in energy system, I realized there's a huge opportunity to solve this problem in sustainability, and I started Fluxgen Technologies. And in this process, I've been trying my bit to solve the problems, whether it is in the energy or water. Today, I focus most of my energy in water, though we
Hmm.
started out with energy.
Hmm.
And I come from a family of teachers, so I also thought I'll continue the family tradition by being in an adjunct faculty at the Institute of Science, where I teach Internet of Things in solving clean tech, sustainability, industrial Internet of Things there.
Oh, very much related to the work that ICB does. No wonder you are our early partners here. And Ganesh, of course, you're the founder of Fluxgen. So I want you to give you. I wanted you to give an introduction of what Fluxgen does, and how did this idea strike to you? What was the motivation for you to start Fluxgen?
So as I told you, Arjun, that the water crisis has hit us very badly in the city of Bangalore. But it's not just that Bangalore is under severe. It's not only the city of Bangalore is under water stress. The world as a whole is under severe water stress.
Hmm.
And if you think it is unavailability of water, not completely. It's just that I believe it's not managed well. And water as a liquid is transparent and clear. What if
Yeah.
you make the data of water transparent and clear?
Wow.
That's where we come in,
Wonderful
right?
thought.
And we believe that you bring all the data of water in one place, then probably you can build solution on top of it to ensure that everybody has enough water.
Hmm.
And we realize we should focus on start with entities that consume huge amount of water and also contaminate water. That's why we decided we'll de-risk industries and commercial facilities from water-related issues.
Hmm.
So that's why we help industries, commercial facilities reduce their overall water consumption and manage their water infrastructure. And that's what our product Aquagent does.
I
We
see.
use Internet of Things and artificial intelligence to identify leakage, wastage, excessive usage of water, and also to identify the ways you can avoid downtime in your water infrastructure. That's
Mm.
what Fluxgen has been able to do.
Mhm.
We look forward to solve the water crisis in a way by starting with industries and commercial facilities.
I see. And you mentioned about IoT, Internet of Things. I'm also from IoT space. So, how exactly is Fluxgen going about? How's the entire solutioning working? Whatever is confidential can remain. Otherwise, like, how is the solutioning and IoT? How is it solving the water crisis?
So, as I said, our goal is to bring transparency and clarity to water. And what we are doing is we are ensuring water data in a water in any industrial infrastructure is monitored. We ensure all the data of water, basically whether it is water flow, water level, water pressure, energy consumed by infrastructure. All these things are actually put into the cloud. We also monitor the water quality as well to ensure that the water treated is of good quality, right? And now we build analytics on top of it to identify if there's a leakage, wastage, excessive usage of water. And advanced algorithms on machine learning further and helps you to take prescriptive alerts in taking care of your water infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we've been able to do for more than 30 plus clients of ours, where more
Oh.
than 50 plus location it is running to ensure that their end-to-end water management needs is solved digitally.
Mm-hmm. And if I had to ask, if there is a metric that you're chasing for which, at which point you would say that yes, Fluxion has been successful in making an impact, what would that be?
See, our vision is to save a billion liter of water per day, and
Wow, that's
that should lead to making industries water positive. That's what we are behind. If that's one number that we get up in the morning, that's what actually says that no, we have still not achieved that. So we still have to do a lot of work. So
hmm
so far, yes, that's our goal. Hopefully, we are able to save a billion liter of water per day, and then start chasing a trillion liter later on.
definitely. And in terms of achieving that dream, what are the factors that stand between you and the dream? Like, what challenges do you face today? Is it the adoption by people, or is it the customer, the user behavior? What's actually stopping you? What's the challenge in the industry today?
See, water is one of those resources which are which comes under tragedy of commons, right?
Mm-hmm.
In
Mm-hmm.
economics. So what it means? So excessive usage of resource that is for all without thinking about the future, right? So
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, water is not priced like various other resources, right? And because of which people don't work towards conservation.
Mm-hmm.
And now today we are reaching a point of where the water conservation is becoming more and more important, but it's still the pricing is still not reached a point where people really sacrilegiously save it. That is
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why we feel that our adoption of our solution has not reached the level it should ideally reach. So that is one of
Mm-hmm.
the big reasons.
There's
But
no
having
actual
said
pain
that,
point, is what you say.
yeah, having said that, while the water is not priced, but if you consider industries, the nominal cost of water which they buy is not actually the cost of water for them. The true cost of water for industries is also the embedded energy, chemicals, and other components in water.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, you pumping, purification, recycling, all these things add up to the cost of water in an industry.
True, true.
This actually would bring in the return on investment faster than they think. So
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, that information is not available. Events like this, I can talk and people will come to know about it.
Mm-hmm. And looking at a worldwide perspective, so not just from Fluxgen, like from the worldwide perspective, what are the challenges in this UNSDG 6, that is water and sanitation space? What are the major challenges we are facing, or what should we
So
be
the
alert
biggest,
about?
yeah, so one of the biggest challenges is that the water quality, right, of I mean, that is coming out from industries and various other sources, effluents, is actually entering our water source, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is very, very important that all that water that is used has to be treated and treated in a genuine manner
Mm-hmm.
because it has an unintended consequence of people falling ill. It is said that if you give access to clean water,
Mm-hmm.
half of the beds in the hospital will be removed, right?
Oh.
So that is that is one of the big challenge that I feel, right? And the enforcement, or whether it is governments, should actually ensure that, whether it's not just in subcontinent, in the rest of the world as well, we should ensure that all that water that is being utilized has to be treated such that it doesn't contaminate water sources,
Mm-hmm.
right? That is one big challenge. Another thing is, if you don't uh, measure, you can't manage. So it is said that 40% of water in most of the cities in India are unaccounted. So what does that mean?
Oh.
Where does this water go? Right? So much of water is getting wasted, and there's so much of energy spent in producing this water. Right? So that's the problem. That I mean, the expense of that is still today unaccounted. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is one more thing that we should look into. The third thing is about climate change, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these things are interconnected.
Yes,
If
definitely.
climate change is a shark, water is its teeth, right? So what it means, because of a warmer planet, the evapotranspiration has changed, because of which the water cycles have changed, because of which we experience drought and flood. I mean, for example, the city of Chennai
Mm.
actually had drought. I mean to say, it ran out of water in 2019. It
Mm-hmm.
also had flood in
Blood.
2015.
Right, right, right.
So that means that how we are already, climate change is not the future. Climate change is already happening.
Mm.
So this is one more big threat. So yeah, I hope we actually ensure this water is managed such a way that all this threat is taken.
Right. There are direct and indirect effects as well. Right. And I mean, looking at the brighter side, like what kind of awareness has been created around the world, or what kind of movements are happening in the world, in which, or changes in regulations or anything, through which you can see, light at the end of the tunnel. Any such movements?
See, actually, there is a lot of movement in terms of climate change that you know, right? We are
Yeah,
having COP26
yeah.
November. So people have realized that climate change is not the future; it is already happening. So and United Nations is, of course, playing the flag bearer role, and I'm very glad that there's a intergovernment climate IPCC is doing a great work on
Mm-hmm.
that direction. And I also believe that like for example, there's a World Water Day that is celebrated, right? And that's also because of UN. So I am very convinced that there is, as much as we are having crisis, there's also people like you and various others who are working towards bringing all the blocks together. And for the fact that you invited me itself means that you care about the concerns on water, and you want to bring in professionals across the world in impact consulting space to help startup like us to solve this problem. So I would definitely say there are a lot of encouraging sign while there is a deep crisis ahead of us.
Yes, you rightly pointed out that multiple people have to come from different corners and join hands to collaborate, right? Because of course, water has much more overarching issues than just the water level at the water level itself. So talking about collaboration, like can you suggest like what have you been doing individually as Fluxgen in order to collaborate with different people in the ecosystem? How are you building that ecosystem so that you can realize your dream of sustainability?
See, one of the things that I felt while I was building Fluxgen is that sustainability leaders were working in silos. And I realized that we should actually work together. And I also had this crazy idea that there's mafia for all the bad things. Why don't we have a mafia
Sus-
for a green mafia, right? And this led to me writing a blog post on why don't we build a green mafia called the sustainability mafia.
Mhm,
And I found all these people in the field of sustainability actually saying that they want to be part of this.
mhm,
And eventually it started out as a WhatsApp group, and later we ended up meeting a lot, meetups, leading to a lot of activities together, and then helping each other. So what we realized is there is an ecosystem by industries, corporates, which help startups. There, government is doing a lot of things as well.
Mm-hmm.
But an entrepreneur helping another entrepreneur was a missing link in this
Right,
thing. That's why
right.
we started the Sustainability Mafia. Today, we have a mission statement to multiply the impact of sustainability leaders through goal oriented collaboration. Right?
Wonderful.
And I'm glad that we actually registered as a Section 8 for impact nonprofit organization
Mm-hmm.
in helping the leaders to come together and solve this together, right? So I feel one is this is one of the ecosystem. I'm very glad to have been founded this along with some amazing minds. And today we have more than 60 plus solution providers part of this
Nice.
ecosystem, driving towards solving the problem of sustainability or the opportunity to make sure that the next generation can have as a good life as our ancestors had.
That's massive, Ganesh. Congrats on that. And let's say you already built such a big ecosystem. Now, like, if you are given power, what kind of regulations or changes would you like to bring about in the future, immediate future?
Okay, so to be honest, if I have to talk about that, I think there are some really good regulations. But
Mm-hmm.
I rather believe that the enforcement is rather more important, right? And I feel the enforcement should be made stronger.
Mm-hmm.
We have pollution control board, we have water act, we have uh, CGWA. I think there are really great regulations in place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But and also NGT is made very powerful recently by Supreme Court as well, right? So I would rather say that enforcement should become further stronger, right?
Okay.
And that would be my take, because you could always come with more regulation, but if
Mm.
enforcement is weak, then it may not work well. But I am very
Right.
confident the government is doing a great job,
Uh-huh.
and I'm sure it will become even stronger after COP26.
Very good. Very nice to hear. And hope to see that difference coming in this country and the world very soon. And that's at a higher level that you are talking about regulations and enforcement. At a lower, at a micro level, at common man's level. So, do you have any tips or suggestions that are easy to implement so that we can be more sustainable in this space? Anything for our audience that they can easily pick and implement?
See, actually, the crisis is so massive, right? And imagine that there's no water at all because of this crisis. How difficult it would be, right? In fact, I think about I have a 2-year-old, and I actually I was talking to my wife the other day, and I was telling, in next 5 years, my concern is that our son might be caught in a violence because of water crisis,
Oh,
right?
that's
Because I see, I mean, being in this field of water, I see the problem every day, right? I
hmm,
mean,
hmm.
so while it's a selfish worry that there's going to be violence and some, my son might be caught in that violence because he's just traveling around, right? So what is very important is we are already created the massive injustice to the next
Hmm,
generation. There's
hmm,
an
hmm.
intergeneration injustice that is caused because we are not valuing water, right? Water is also one of those resources which can get completely over if we don't use it properly, right?
Hmm, hmm.
So being responsible about water is everybody's duty as much as they say, right? Water is your right. So my thoughts to everybody here is that whenever you are actually using water, remember that you are getting this water at the cost somebody else is not getting it,
Wow, well put.
right? And another thing is there is a indirect water consumption that we are consuming without our knowledge. The pair of jeans that we wear consumes more than 7,000 liters of water to make,
Hmm,
right?
hmm, hmm.
The chocolate that we eat, right, would actually take nearly 10 bathtubs to make one bar of chocolate.
Really?
So it
Wow.
is the least that I could tell everybody is that even before you act on anything, just first get to the awareness level. Everything that you consume, start thinking about what is the environmental footprint because of consuming this. I'm not
Right.
saying you have to completely stop having chocolate or have pair of jeans, but being aware about all these things goes a long way. So you would be conscious consumer. You would not be buying into fast fashion, or would not be consuming junk as and when we want. We would be like be more responsible for people who are actually not having enough water because of our consumption. So my point is very simple. Being aware itself goes a long way.
Hmm. That's wonderful. Actually, you gave some really good information over there, some wow factors, because we didn't know that chocolate would take a few bathtubs of water, or jeans would take so many thousands of liters of water. That's amazing. And for you, Ganesh, like if there are a few organizations which are already doing some great impact in the field of impact, like a few sustainable initiatives, if you could name maybe a three, because you'd know a lot, but if you could name just the three of them so that our users will get more awareness on these.
See, I would definitely go back to the organization which helped me start launch my career in sustainability, the Selco. I mean, Dr. Harish Hande is one of the most prominent figures in this field, and I have been inspired by. I mean, though when I was in Selco, I met him probably 3 4 times. This man is really committed, right? I mean, his goal to help all the villagers in places where there's no absolutely any grid, and putting up the solar plants for them and giving them access to electricity. I am a big fan of Selco and Selco Foundation, Dr. Harish Hande.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And yeah, I am also a big fan of the work that CRB is doing. And they are ensuring there is a responsible consumption is taken care, right? And that is one area. And another thing I came to know recently is Shakti Foundation.
mm-hmm,
They were actually involved in making sure that we all are able to use LED lights, right, at an affordable price.
mm-hmm,
How somebody could actually be involved in mass adoption, working with government, working with Bureau of Energy Efficiency and various other organizations to ensure that all of us today are using the most efficient light, is something that I get very inspired by. And I'm sure if we go with that success on how we implemented this LED light with other sustainable technologies, I think many of our problems will be solved.
wonderful. That's great actually. I hope our audience will take note of that and actually spread the word on this. And actually, that brings us to the end of today's discussion, Ganesh. Thank you once again for being part of this, and looking forward, since you're also in Bangalore and Impact Consulting Bangalore is primarily based out of Bangalore and trying to make an impact for the entire world. And I hope to interact with you and your organization, and also with Sasmafia, and hope we can make an impact together.
No, thank you so much, Arjun. I think this was absolute privilege. I've been working with you on getting our impact consultants solve some of our problem, identify new market segment for us. I think you guys are doing an amazing job
Thank you.
by actually in two ways. One is you're actually helping people who want to solve the problem of sustainability by connecting them to startups like us, and the
Hmm.
other hand, startups like us get access to such wonderful resources
Right.
to actually ensure that we can grow and we can ensure that our impact can be multiplied. So kudos to you guys for making this
Thank you.
happen. I am so lucky to have even met guys like you to build our solution stronger. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you once again, and let's continue to make an impact together. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.